Hello, welcome to the second episode of Grass, the podcast about grass. Today we're in Groningen and sat down on a lovely bench. It has a name plaque. In the middle of it, it is a bronze name plaque. And it says Sijpkens Bankje. I am not sure who Mr. Sijpkens is, but I'd like to thank him for this beautiful bench. As you might hear, it is quite windy here. That's because we are at the seaside this time. This is a special place. The grass seems to flow into the sea, but we'll get into that in a second. I will now give a first impression of our grasscape of today. We have different types of length of grass today. I will start from the back to the front. That means behind us we have a classical Dutch dike. The dike is covered in a short but green grass. It reflects a lot, which makes it iconic in a way. It's a very dominant horizon. On the dike there's sheep, giving a nice contrast to the grass. Almost like white flowers in a grass field. We have sheep on the dike. Very nice, very nice. The grass is maintained naturally by the grazing of the sheep, and this border is very visible. The dike is perfectly maintained where the highest concentration of the sheep are. And the further you get to the sea, the longer the grass will get. Some sheep have ventured down the dike onto a, let's call this the second patch of grass. Also a quite short grass, not as perfectly maintained. It is a bit patchy and has some brown spots, but it's still quite well maintained, but it's more robust in a way. We have some yellow and darker greens compared to the almost fluorescent green of the dike. It seems to have like a texture in the landscape. There's some lines like little canals dug into the landscape, which gives for a hilly texture, but a very controlled hilly texture. It's very interesting. Also, I know this podcast is about grass, but I would like to take a moment to talk about some concrete. Don't worry, it's still related to grass. They're on the Dutch dike, as a reinforcement, there is a long strip of concrete that is only towards the sea, not towards the land, so on the outside of the dike. And what I found interesting about this, that in this light, at this moment, the concrete is purple. I'm not a big fan of purple, but I have to say that it is a very nice. Oh, we got some wind coming in. Let's wait this one out. I also seem to have contracted a light form of hay fever, but it will not suppress my love of the grass. So, I will give a slight recap. We have fluorescent, short green dike grass that is broken by a band of concrete, and then we venture on a textured, short, yellowish green layer, plateau. I would say plateau because this is flat again after the dike. And then something interesting happens. We have little groups of grass. Like I would almost, for lack of a better word, I will call them families. Little families of grass that almost have like a village setup going on. They're close together but dotted around in this patch. It seems very random, but it is so exact, this band of little dotted grass, that I almost have to say that I think this is man-made, which of course, for those who don't know, the half of Holland is reclaimed land, so if I say man-made, I am stating the obvious. Anyway, we seem to have a pack of sheep coming in. I am not sure if they will welcome me, but we'll see in a second. So after the dotted grass, we have some beautiful high grass, with really thin leaves. I'm thoroughly impressed by the way it sways in the wind, because even though the wind is annoying for our podcast, it is a joy to see this grass dancing in the wind. The grass is light green at the top where the light penetrates, but the further down, the less light can penetrate into the thick grass, so the darker it gets. On top of the light grass there's little yellow plums dancing. They from up close they contrast quite heavily with the green, but if you look over it, following the landscape, they seem to disappear into a even color scheme. Oh, we have some wind again. The plums are dancing. Very beautiful. But we have to continue. There's more grass to cover. After the high grass, there's something interesting happening. earth seems to drop about 40 centimeters. So it creates a little ravine. This is not much for us, but according to the sheep I just saw jumping down, it is quite the hurdle to get back up. I'm very sorry for the wind. I will try to find a... I hope this is better. So the earth drops about 40 centimeters. I am not sure what this is about. Like we've established before, I'm not the expert. I am willing to take your comments on this. Please comment in the comment section below if you know what this little ravine is called and how it came to be. After this ravine we have another small band, I would say about 1 meter wide, of high grass, the same as we saw before the little drop, which makes a nice transition to a very short, very, I would say, robust looking grass that seems to go directly into the sea. It's a very short, very... If you would compare it to a haircut, I can say that this is the army haircut of grass. It is tough, short. It does not move at all in the wind. It seems more like a crust on the earth. It is not a thick crust, also because the earth makes itself visible in little holes in the grass surface, but it lacks the softness that I've come to expect from grass. It has a certain hardness to it, which I do like in context. I could say it's almost like a golf grass, a saltwater golf grass. This continues for a while, and then there is the sea. Long black lines of wooden poles are extending into the sea, reaching towards the horizon. I was told that these are because they keep the land on which the grass is growing on the shore. Otherwise the flow of the sea might take our land away. Beautiful. I am now being slightly intimidated by the sheep who are looking at me, and I will not tempt him any longer, and I will take my leave. Okay. There was a lot to see, and I wish I could be more thorough, but this is it for now, and I hope to see you on the next one. Hopefully we get to play some golf for the next one, because I'm quite interested if my comparison was right. Thank you for listening to Grass, the podcast about grass, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.